Now that we know how we can give our program the ability to make decision on its own by making use of various decision-making structures offered by Java programming language, such as the if statement, the if-else statement, the if-else statement, the nested if, and the switch statement. Let us now discuss about repetition programming structures. The repetition programming structures, also known as the loop programming structures, allow us to execute a statement or a group of statements multiple times. In general, we know that statements are executed sequentially. That is, the first statement in a main function is executed, followed by the second one, and followed by the third one, and so on and so forth. Coming over to the while loop statement. The while loop statement in Java programming language allows the programmer to repeatedly execute a target statement for as long as the given condition remains true. Now, if we carefully observe the syntax for declaration of the while loop statement, we find the keyword while, which is followed by two rounded brackets within which we are providing a boolean expression. Now, this boolean expression is nothing but the condition that we put, based on which it provides us with a boolean output, which is a true or a false. Now, if this particular boolean expression, or so to say the condition, evaluates to true, in that case all the statements within the while block will get executed, and this execution of statements within the while loop will continue for as long as this particular condition, which we have put it within the while loop as the condition, evaluates to true. Now, in case this particular condition evaluates to false, then in that case we say that since the condition evaluated to false, the flow of execution can come out of the looping structure. Let us now look at the flow diagram for the while loop statement. As you can see that this is the syntax whereby we are putting a condition, and if this particular condition evaluates to true, then all the statements within the while block will get executed repeatedly until this particular condition becomes false. However, if this particular condition becomes false, then in that case the flow of execution comes to the instruction that is immediately followed by our while block statements. Let us now look at how our computer performs this looping. The first thing that it checks is the condition. Now, if this particular condition evaluates to false, then in that case the flow of execution returns to the instruction which is immediately followed by the while loop block. However, if this particular condition evaluates to true, in that case all the set of instruction, or we can say the code block, which is present within the while block will get executed. Once all these sets of instruction will get executed, the program will again go to the beginning of the while loop and it checks the conditions again. Now, if this particular condition again evaluates to true, in that case again it goes and execute the code block. After the execution of the code block, it will again go to the beginning of the while loop and check the condition again, and this process continues for as long as this particular condition evaluates to true. Now, after execution of this particular code block, while going to the beginning of the while loop, if this condition evaluates to false. In that case, the flow of execution will come out of the while loop block and it will execute the first instruction that is immediately followed by the while loop block. Now that we know what a while loop structure is, and we have even discussed the working of it with the help of a flow diagram, let us now look at a very simple program that makes the usage of the while loop in order to carry out some repetition in the program. Coming over to the program, we are given a problem statement where we are asked to print number from 1 to 10. Now I have written this code whereby I have not tried to make use of the while loop or any kind of looping structure. Now this set of codes is able to do what the problem statement is asking us to do. However, there is a problem, and the problem is, as you can see, the number of lines that are involved just to print the number from 1 to 10. And what if we are asked to write a code that prints number from 1 to 100? In that case, we have to repeat this statement, that is the system.out.println 100 times. So you can imagine the length of the source code where we don't make use of any kind of looping structures. Another problem with this kind of hard coding practice is that what if the problem statement is changed and now it is asking to print numbers from 20 to 30. In this case, we have to manually go through each and every line and change the numbers 20, like 20 and 21, 22. So you can understand the kind of complexity and the kind of manual job that is involved. Let us now try to implement this same problem statement, but this time making use of repeatable coding structure, which is in this case our while loop. Now on changing our code, this is what our program looks like, whereby the 10 lines of system.out.println is replaced by only 4 lines of code, and these 4 lines of code is powerful enough to print numbers in any range, right from 20 to 30 to 20 to 200 to 20 to 2000 to any other limits. This 4 to 5 lines of code can do all of that. On running this source code, we can see that this few line of code is able to print numbers from 20 to 30. Let us now try to understand how this program is able to print numbers from 20 to 30. Now on removing this set of codes, we can see that this particular set of codes consists of a class which is by the name main, and inside of this class we can find a main function. Since we know that Java is an object-oriented language and everything should be inside the class, and since we also know that the execution of program always happens from the main function, so we should always write code within the main function. Now since we are asked to print number right from 20 to 30, so the first thing that we need to do is define a variable. I have defined a variable by the name number, which is of integer data type, since we are going to print integers, and I have initialized it to 20. And after that I have made use of the while looping structure, whereby I have put the condition stating that number is less than or equal to 30. Now this statement will always return us with a boolean value, which is true or false. Now since during the first execution of this while loop our number is 20, and since 20 is less than equal to 30, it satisfies this condition, and so our control of execution enters the while loop, whereby it executes this particular set of instruction and it prints the number on our output terminal. After execution of this particular statement, the number is being incremented, whereby we are making use of unary operator, that is 2 plus mark symbols. And what this particular statement does is that it increments the value of number by a value of 1. So previously, if our number was 20, after execution of this line of instruction, our number is 21. Then again, the flow of execution again goes to the beginning of the while loop, and it again checks the condition, but this time our number is 21. Now since 21 is also less than or equal to 30, this condition becomes true and this line of instruction is again executed, but this time 21 is being printed since the current value of number is 21. After the execution of this statement, the increment operation is carried out, whereby the previous value of 21 held by the number variable is changed to 22 because of this unary operation. After that, again the flow of control goes to the beginning of the while loop, whereby the condition is checked, and this process continues until the value of number becomes 30. Once the number becomes 30 and system.out.println with the number 30 is printed, the number is incremented by 1. Now the current value of the number becomes 31. On going back to the beginning of the while loop, the condition is checked, but this time the current value for number is 31. Since 31 is not less than or equal to 30, this condition now evaluates to false, because of which the flow of control comes out of the looping structure, and that's the reason why we are able to print numbers right from 20 to 30. Now if in case one forgets to add this increment operation, then what happens is that this condition evaluates to true since the number is 20. However, on printing this particular statement, it prints 20, but since there is no increment operation, it again goes back to the beginning of the while loop, and still our number is 20. Since 20 is less than equal to 30, this evaluates to true again, and this process continues indefinitely since our number is not being updated, and this is a condition which is also known as infinite loop. So whenever you are trying to make use of any looping structures, right from while loop to do while loop to for loop, always make sure that at some point of time the flow of control comes out of the while loop, or else it will run into an indefinite loop and your program simply crashes. Now what you can do is you can go ahead and try to experiment with this few line of code, whereby what you can do is you try to print numbers right from 200 to 3000 and see how you are able to do. Or what you can do is you can write a program that prints only odd or even numbers from 200 to 3000. Now in order to perform such logic, you need to make use of decision making structures, which we have already discussed inside of this while loop block. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you have found this video informative. Thanks for watching and keep coding.